opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences. The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the shit show, the Friday Night Shit Show. Hi, Ruben. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. You look good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you feel great?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Basically, what happened is today I got the first of my payments today. Not a lot of money, but
Okay. Good.
not a lot. It's under $1,000, but still, that's enough to start off with. It's the SSI started, and my disability starts in February, but I am overcoming it because I'm not going to give up on life.
Yeah.
But I'm going to basically see where I need to go next, but that's happened. So that's officially November 1st. I'm retired, theoretically. And of course, it's due to illness, but I'm going to take, the next few days after the election to basically whatever the outcome is to just be positive.
Good. Yeah. 4 days.
I know.
Days till election day. So, man, 4 years has went by pretty quickly, haven't they? It's just shocking how much shit has happened.
Yeah, the last 4 years, I can say, are you better? Well, here's the odd thing. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I would say personally, spiritually, yes. Physically and, with monetarily, no. Because again, when 2020 started, it was, the irony was I had got laid off in 2018 and I wasn't working. And then I started it again in 2020. So all of 2019, I didn't work. I was out of work. I couldn't find anything. And then and I was still dealing with illness at the time. I was still very sick. That's the reason why I was more sick than anything else, but not as bad as I was, not as bad as I was, worse than I ever was now, because I didn't talk to any of you guys. So that was bad. But I still had money, so I didn't go on disability. I just basically, would do little contracts here or there, and then just to roll along, and then trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with this condition I had. Then in 2020, when I got a job, and I was doing fairly well, and then when the pandemic happened, everything went remote. Which I said, okay, fine, I can handle it because I'm a computer anyway, and I have everything I needed, the speaker and all that stuff. I'll do that. But then when everyone went insane, that's when I basically said, okay, screw this shit. I'm done. And I'd shut off everything, the TV and all that stuff. That's why I went to YouTube. And that's how we met. 2021. And then 2022, I got sick again. And then 2023 was just the transition period of I lost everything, everything I own. All my furniture's gone. All my clothes are gone. So all I have left at the end of 2023 is just my computer, my phone, then some clothes and my instrument. That's it. Nothing else to my name. And I basically said, okay, what's there for me? December 30th, I wrote something down. I'm writing a next chapter. 2024 will be my year. And then the next day, I met Haya in the chat. And it basically, it's all comes full circle because it's profound in a way when you think about it. Because we're going back to 2021, I met you all. And Gary and everybody like that. And Haya's trip to us came through Trump as well, because she is an avid fan of Five Finger Death Punch, Linkin Park, and she loves Tom McDonald. She loves his raps. So what she did is she watched a stream of vets talking, doing the reaction to Tom McDonald's video. So then I met her in the chat, reacting to other things. So I did not even know about Tom McDonald. She taught me about that. And that's how it happens. Basically, everything happens for a reason, and you have to accept that for what it is. And that's what I was talking about last night. I was saying it's now the best way to describe it is if you wake up and you have a cold and a flu, or you're sick, you know what it is? It's a vacation for you. Get some ice cream, watch some TV, take care of yourself. That's life telling you, slow down, take care of yourself. don't think of it as, oh God, I'm sick. Oh, this. And with my myasthenia gravis, it's so rare. When I went to the hospital in the summertime, and then I shit you not, the doctor said the following to me. I had myasthenia gravis. I told them the whole thing, and then half of them didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, and the other ones that did had an idea. But one of them said, "Oh yeah, no one would lie about that. That's horrible." Like that's what they would say. It's like, why would even make it up? Ugh, it's just like something so weird to make up. Even it's weird. But I look at it as a positive because I now am where I am. The events that happen to me happen for a reason. I have you in my life. I have Hi in my life. Everybody here in my life, and I'm basically saying I'm looking at the positive outlook. I'm gonna fight for the good, and I'm going to protect the innocent, as we talked about yesterday, and we talked about the screen. Like anybody, my Haya is so innocent and can be gullible, and I just want to protect her. And then it goes to everybody. Anybody out there that needs anything from anybody, the shit show here, we're here to have fun, and I'm glad being here because again, it's an honor and a blessing to have you in my life, Janet, and everybody here as well, because that's what we're doing here. We're having fun today, and welcome to the shit show.
Yep. Well, great. I think it's awesome. I feel the same way. I think that I really want our country to be free, and I want the people to be free to live their lives the way they see fit.
Exactly.
Just because I don't agree with the way they live their life doesn't mean they don't have the right to live that life, as long as it's not hurting other people. That's the thing. I don't think I should have to pay for other people to live high on the hog. They're not paying for me, and I don't expect to pay for them, those type of things. So as long as it's fair and balanced and everyone's being treated with the same rules, then I'll be happy with that. Now, yeah, having more money is really going to make a difference. Being able to keep more money in my own bank account. I think that's important. I wish more people would be able to do that. But I have been enriched in my life since these people, took over, whatever, because of the choices I've made to do this kind of stuff. I've met more people, and I've been able to enrich my life that way. So that part of my life is good.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's why it's going to backfire. That is why it really is going to backfire. Think about it. In 2020, they told you had to stay home, and you have to do it for your protection and for protection of others. And most of you agreed with that, and that's fine. I want you to do what you do. Most of you put masks on, and hey, it's on you. Most of you did the jab. That's on you. But then those that basically said no, we're going to live by a code of freedom, started to rise up, and the classes happened. But it's all about, in the end, we want to be happy, and we have to empathize with the left. Their version of happiness is to be safe, to have they don't have a God, they have a government. They don't have they don't have their own self-identity. They have a identity that's given to them by the group. Like all women are this, all Mexicans are that, and you see that, and it's you're a monolith to the system, and you're not. You're an individual. You're unique. You're special, and that's my message. My message, I can be crude and say fuck them and go to shit die, you idiots. But again, that's my anger. I'm angry. I'm not indifferent. If I were indifferent, I would basically let Rome burn. But I'm not. I'm trying to save. And then you say, "Oh, I'm a threat to democracy." Well, we're not in a democracy. We're a republic. Whatever. And again, and now it's like, what? My attitude now is like that situation. Like when say threat to democracy, and it's democracy, we're not a democracy, we're a republic, and they don't get it. I'm now not going to say how stupid they are for not knowing we're a republic. Yeah, I'm going to say how derelict I have been in my life to not let people know that we live in a republic. So I'm going to be a beacon about. Yeah. No, but it's true. We have to be a beacon of the the outcome. It's no longer about me saying that somebody says they're a threat to democracy and says, my God, you don't even have no idea. Democracy is mob rule. So if you have 100 people, or the easier one is say you have democracy is you have 2 wolves and a sheep arguing about what's for dinner.
Yeah.
That's the simplest thing, and that's what democracy is. And it's basically the way. Just going by with the Puerto Rico comment, the Puerto Rico comment was done by Tony Willcliffe, and Willcliffe is a liberal guy, but he's supporting Trump. But what's going on here is he's very, very concerned about the environment. I am too. I'm very concerned about the environment, but I'm not concerned about climate change. I'm concerned about the environment.
I'm concerned about the plastic and the trash. Yeah, the oil.
Yeah.
The sewage. That kind of stuff. Not worried about whether the clouds are going to make extra storms or bigger storms.
And what's so weird? Well, going back to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has a trash problem. He was bringing that aspect up. If we made it a state, we make it great again. Let's make Puerto Rico great again. Let's get in there, make it the 51st state if we want to, and then clean it up, and then have Trump go, "Hey, I cleaned it up. It's my project for fixing Puerto Rico." It could be. It could happen. You never know.
I mean, anything's possible if you have hope and you have faith in something and you work towards it, and you have enough people that feel the same way as you do. See,
right.
That's the whole thing. And just like this, I mean, how do you know when you go out and about and do your daily stuff, like going to the store, to get your car washed, get gas or whatever? How do you know that the people that are pumping gas next to you think the same way you do, unless you say, "Hey, how you doing?"
But that's the thing.
Have you voted yet, or any of those things? Then you start to find out that you realize, wow, like when I got on X, and again, this is my 4th account, right?
Right.
And when I got on there, and I said, I'm just going to be strictly comic books, talk about my nerd stuff. And I couldn't do it. I just can't do it. It's not in me to not voice my opinion about stupid shit that's going on. And guess what? Look how many other dumb shits I've met that are just like me, because we're garbage, right? But the thing is that you don't know unless you open your mouth and say something. I hear so many guys say, "Well, I really like this girl." Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. But they say they really like someone, but then they don't even. I go, "Did you talk to her?" And they went, "No." And I go, "Why not?" "I don't know."
Yeah, well, we haven't.
You don't know what you're losing unless you try.
We've lost the art of conversation. The true art of sitting down. Because again, if I were to talk to you. I don't know this is a shit show, but if I were to talk to you on a very personal level, my conversation is very, very deep and it's profound. But the bottom line here is the answer to everything. And again, I'm being philosophical here, and I'll explain why. The answer to everything is God and love, and they're inversely the same thing. That's why I say God is love, love is God, and that's it. And then basically, what does that mean, Ruben? Forget these mystical figures in the clouds. It's what brings you the most joy, your own love, self-love. Go that route, but what brings you the joyous aspects of your life? Then you hold on to those things, and that's love. That's God. So when you basically feel love, say, "I'm in God. I'm now in God. I'm imbuing with the spirit of Holy Spirit," or whatever that may be to you. The sacred
God mode.
You're in a sacred space. When you make love to somebody, when you feel love and affection, when you achieve something, you feel that love, your accomplishment. That's that it is. And if you equate that with God being in your life, then there's no war, there's no nothing, because again, you're in the pursuit of happiness all the time. And that's what I do now. And that's why I enjoy being here, because it's like, it's Friday. We do this every Friday. And it's a testament to joy, a testament to love, a testament to being happy, to having friends, knowing that, think about it, regardless of what happens November 5th, I know who's got my back. I know that I can count on Janet. I know I can count on Emperor. I know I can count on anybody out there that we've talked to, because again, we have been authentic to each other. When the world, You have Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lopez, all these people saying we must vote for Harris. They are voting to keep the mask on, the veneer of the lies, because they're adult pretenders. They're singers, they're actors, they're entertainers, they're the influencers, they're the town crier. They're the people crying wolf, wolf, wolf.
And they're the wolves.
They're literally the court jesters of the Renaissance period. And I say that specifically. Here's why. If you all know, who are we to them? We are the villain. And why do I say the word villain? Because going back to the medieval period, villain is villager. So the elite in the Renaissance period had their court jesters, the artists, point out and said, why are we all dying but Black Death? What's causing all the pain? They are. And that's where villager came to, the common folk.
Yeah.
So villain is actually MAGA in the Renaissance period. And that is why we have to know that the system, it's not people. It's not people. I tend to say they're inherently good. Or they inherently they're inherently narcissistic is more of a term I can say. That they're trying to do the greater good for themselves. They're very, very, we want to survive.
Yeah, and also people don't realize that we're not meant to be by ourselves. Okay, so when even narcissists don't want to be alone. Okay, so we do what we have to do to try to be with others, or to set up our homes or our businesses or whatever to where we have interaction with others. We don't go off and just it's very rare that someone goes out and builds a cabin in the middle of nowhere and just stays there. You know what I mean? By themselves. Right. They sooner or later, they want to find make a relationship with someone and not be alone, because you want to have over time. When you're young, you just want to be free and do fun things. But as you get older, you start saying, well, I want to pass something on. I want to leave something in this world. Yeah. So you start thinking about being a parent. Everyone goes through these steps in their life, but the choices you get to make for your life really revolve around where you are. If you're in a state that's very prosperous and has lots of things to offer, then you're going to be more active. But if you move to a state that's desolate, hardly has anything there, and there's not very many jobs, you're not going to be as successful at finding out the things you thought you wanted for your life. I mean, that's what
happened. And that's what happened to me when you think about it. I live I basically am now experiencing the world differently. I was born in 1968. I'm 56. I'll be 57 in March. Okay. And 57 is just a number. I feel young and, vibrant. I'm a vibrant.
Well, you have a young person in your life that will keep you young as long as but see, people who stop looking for new things, researching new things or new interests to keep yourself young.
Right.
Okay. You get old, because if you just do the same thing day after day after day and you never reach out, try to read or watch movies or listen to new music, how do you stay young when you don't do anything new?
And that's what I do. And the thing is, I'm doing the same things I did as a kid. I mean, literally the same things. I would get up in the morning and I want to know something. So let's say I took a class and then the class taught me one thing. I would challenge everything I was being taught. And I would be the one that would be arguing all the time about things at mathematics, science, the philosophy, history, everything. And it was just like, wow, just like, it hits you. And I'm still doing it now. And that's what I want to do now, because I lived my life. I started off basically wanting to be a classical musician. And I went down that route to study, and then I went to teaching, and then it turned into technology, because along the way I've know about science, technology, ancient history, botany, and then I wanted to have the human experience. I learned how to cook when I was very young, to basically walk into a kitchen as a prank, as a joke, and basically say, I can make you a gourmet meal from everything that you have right here. And I would bring it up and do it. This is long time ago, before these shows came out.
Yeah.
And you do that. It's a sense of adventure, and I lived that life. I had a technology business, which I'm going to renew again, and I've been there from the beginning of networking to the internet to cloud to AI. I've been through all of it, and every technology. I had one of the first cell phones in Chicago back in '92, and it was just like, it was so cool to
Was it one of those big bag phones?
No, it was actually it was not the Razor, but it was just like a Nokia, candy bar, but it was like I had communication shit. I could do anything, and it's like, and then internet, and I had one of the first smartphones that had the Sony Ericsson. I love that phone. I would pull it out and this is like early 2000s. I'd pull it out and do stuff with it, go on the map, send email and stuff, and going, this is it. And then fly my planes. Because again, I made a lot of fucking money before. I made a whole lot of goddamn money. So I did that, and I enjoyed life. Go out and have drinks and stuff, and I still want to do that again and have fun late at night. But my focus now is, how can I make the world better? And how can I help out everybody? I'm going to give back. I'm 56, and I do the spiritual aspect of every 7 years. So 7 times 8. This is my 8th cycle I've done of the 7, and 7. And you give 7 times 7. 700 or whatever. So make your version of 7. Our body renews itself every 7 years. There's 7 days in the calendar, all these different things. And we hear about spiritually what that means. So, that just keep on doing that. So I'm entering this new life saying, yes, I'm going to study religion. I'm going to study philosophy, study science. I have a theory on everything, gravity and all that stuff. And then my music, I have poetry books I want to write. So I'm doing I'm going to start doing a lot of stuff. And I'm just glad now that I'm officially will be retired in February of this coming year, but I'm still going to try to get some stuff done. And I want to start a business and basically give it to a trust to Haya to have the progeny to move on. So and then to have my ultimate wish when I first was a boy was to be a father. And this might be coming true for me.
Well, that's what I want. This comment of Six Nations just brought up about we're no longer terrorists or Nazis and downgraded to just garbage. Okay. Well, I was thinking about that when I wanted to open the show to start this, because I had something I wanted to share. And so hold on, let me bring this up. Because the reason I thought it was so funny, because we were branded as deplorables. Okay, now we're just garbage. But Trump is so good at what he does at marketing, right?
Yeah.
That he's capitalizing on us being called garbage. And I wanted to share this because I thought it was cute. Now I hope I don't get in trouble for the music. So I'm going to let the music start at the beginning, and then I'm going to turn the volume down, but you get an idea of what the song is. So I wanted to share this because I just thought this was so cute, and I shared it on my timeline. So it was great. It's just really fun. It's me and my friends going to vote for Trump. So what?
Yeah.
Papers and the trash.
Oh, geez. That's funny.
Okay, I have turned the music down because I don't want you to be mad. But it I just thought it was great because I am seeing so many memes, so many videos and stuff with garbage cans, people wearing garbage bags, just everything. Yeah. And then all these AI coming out with Trump after he drove the garbage truck, that is genius. See,
because
he just knows what he's doing. He's a very smart, very, very smart man. And he hears some of this shit. And I don't know I know it might not just all be him, but he's smart enough to go along with it. He was driving a garbage truck.
I know.
Think about that.
I know, but two things that were so crazy in a way. There's one thing that's not creepy, but very very sentimental when I see it. when Trump dances. My
Yeah.
father danced like that.
He just cracks me up.
That was
He
my
doesn't
father. That was my
know.
father's dance. So then when I see that, I'm going, whoa, that's weird. And what's the one thing that's been happening lately is when I'm working on trying to get something done and physically going, because I went to the doctor 2 days ago to get a checkup. I went to go get groceries
Mhm.
on my own, pushing myself, pushing my body. And I heard my father encouraging me on, even though he never did. He never did. But I know why, because I took the artistic route, and he's very, very down to the earth. So all like me, my playing classical music, he didn't understand it at all. He never understood it. It was just so weird to him. It was just so foreign.
Mhm.
And literally, he was the one that would tease me about being a nerd with music, because he just didn't. But I know now why people do that, because they don't understand it.
Mhm.
They have to, and they get defensive. So that's a defensive reaction, and you have to have empathy for that kind of person. And that's why now it's like, if somebody calls me trash, like Biden, I'm now like, okay, good, dude, I'm trash then. It's like you are so devoid of. That's what now I'm doing.
Mhm.
The Democratic Party that's doing this, or the liberal wackos that are doing this now, it's pathetic now. You're getting to the point you're just doing it to do it. It has no effect on me now. That's what pisses them off now, because again
People are
now
starting to realize that it's all bullshit.
it
You know?
is, and that's
So
why I'm
that's a
garbage.
good
Then
thing.
I don't care shit.
But that's a
I'm garbage.
good thing to a degree, because it's showing the rest of us that have already knew it was all bullshit, that the other people are waking up finally. But this video I found, and to me, this gentleman is saying exactly what many people I've been talking to are saying about what's going on. So let's listen to this. I think you'll like it.
You guys like to assume that everybody who's voting for Trump is Republican. I'm not. Hell, Trump's not even Republican. Matter of fact, neither is Elon, neither is RFK, neither is Tulsi Gabbard. A bunch of people who are voting for Trump aren't Republicans. The only current top Republican that's actually a Republican is J.D. Vance. The rest are JFK Democrats. They're conservative and they're libertarian. That's JFK in a nutshell. But the left has gone so far left that the Democrat Party is almost unrecognizable. They use a donkey as the mascot for the Democrat Party, and it is extremely fitting. Because over the last 24 years, you guys have been proven to be a bunch of jackasses. You questioned the election in 2000. You questioned the election in 2004. You won in 2008 and 2012, questioned 2016, and you expect us not to think that you're going to question 2024? Trump protests 2020, and you act like he's the worst person on the planet, yet Democrats have protested every single election won by Republicans since the year 2000. Shut the fuck up.
That is the most profound thing I've
I
heard.
know. Isn't he awesome? I'm going to copy this link
Yeah,
and I'm going to
yeah.
put it in the chat, because this guy deserves to be shared out with everyone. Anyone that liked what he had to say. I fell for it. I listened to it like 6 times and I was like, this guy is really smart, and he's saying exactly what so many people that I've talked to, just willy-nilly in the last couple of years are saying about what's going on with this administration, with these people that just act like we're just all a bunch of dumbasses or something, because they really do believe that. It's not an act. They really think that we're just a bunch of stupid idiots that can't do anything for ourselves, and that they need to have their thumb over us at all times to make sure that we.
Who sadly made the best point on that regard from the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton.
What do you mean?
Michael Keaton did put a video out and basically told half the country that we're following somebody who doesn't care because they think we're stupid, and basically he's implying that we're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot more of those, I'm sure.
I'm done with all the actors and stuff.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of them. I can tell you that.
I watch old movies I enjoy, that are like constructed very well, classics. But the majority of the shit that's coming out now, I had not seen it. And when I do catch like a 10-second thing, I'm appalled by what I see. The culture has changed. Again, I stopped watching. I stopped watching. I think the last show I watched on ABC was Lost.
Yeah.
On NBC, the last thing I saw was Seinfeld. CBS, 60 Minutes when it was good back before 2000. So I've been like outside. So when I saw some of this shit, I went, fuck, it's so weird now. It's like, no wonder people think they think it's the real world. No, gosh, it's been solely transformed and grotesquely mutilated. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you see this thing right here?
What?
Speaker Mike Johnson believes foreign influence.
Oh yeah.
You've seen this?
Well, I heard about it.
Okay, well, I wanted to put this on here because to me, I just wish it could have came out sooner. But it seems like they're always dragging their feet on everything. Everything takes forever. I mean, look, it's been 4 years, and we're just now starting to get more and more evidence showing that they definitely did cheat. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. But boy, when it comes to your taxes being paid in, I guarantee they could be at your door tomorrow. Yeah, to get that check. You know what I'm saying? It's sad to me, but here we go.
I just talked to Speaker Mike Johnson a little bit ago. A story's going to be going up a little bit in Just the News. Speaker Johnson on the record says he has serious concerns that China, Iran, Russia, and Venezuela have moved money to Democrats, have laundered money to Democrats, possibly through ActBlue and other online fundraising mechanisms. He says that this is about to become a major scandal, may not break until after the election. That's when all the evidence will be assembled. But he's putting everybody on notice that this could be a major political scandal. Cheating, and when you get more money than the other side because you cheated, it is potentially a very serious matter. Mike Johnson's words, very strong, very specific. He's usually very careful, so he's hanging out on a limb. He knows something we don't know. He also said that if they find any of these countries, there will be serious penalties imposed by Congress if it is proven they have been interfering in the election by laundering money to Democrats.
Okay. The only thing about that, I think it's great that they're talking about it and stuff, which means somebody knows something in the government and they're admitting it, right? It's the fact that even though the Supreme Court said you can't do this with the student loans and you can't do this, what do? They just go, they don't give a shit. This administration doesn't care what anybody says. They don't care if it's cops. They don't care if it's Congress. They don't care if it's the Supreme Court or us. You know, they're going to sending more money to Ukraine. They don't give a shit about what we
don't have, and we don't have a free press anymore. We only have state media, because again, everything is now so negative all the time in the realm of the conservative or the. He basically said that JFK Democrat. I would have been one. You know, I admired Kennedy. You know, the first president I admired was Kennedy, but he had passed on, and I didn't like politics as much. You know, with the whole Watergate thing, which is, again, another operative of the deep state that happened. So they've been lurking in the shadows all this time. But then Reagan was so good for me, and it was inspiring. Because, again, it made you feel good again. And remember, 1984, what happened in that election, it was a landslide, 49-1. Hopefully we can make it happen now again. Geez, I wish. If there was no cheating going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, this next thing that I want to share is I thought was pretty interesting and disgusting at the same time. But the thing is that I'm going to give out my massive dickhead award. So, and we're going to do this first. And I'm going to give it to this person this time because I don't know how anybody doesn't know about this anymore. When you do something this disgusting to me, it's just gross. So hold on, let me open this up here. I always click on the wrong one. Here we go. This is it. Okay. The costume that Jill Biden decided to wear. Everyone knows if you're involved in kids. You know what a panda means, right?
Holy shit!
I'm giving it to Jill.
I'm telling you, panda. So you got panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, it's so what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum. And if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal. You can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and shit like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else. Okay. And so the eyes come out and they call them panda eyes. And they do this so you see people with these cigars and they're all these big celebrities, they all have the cigar in common. That's that big ass thing between their legs that they're sticking in. And it's one big society of it.
Damn.
Okay. He is talking about this group of people that's about to go to court now. Okay. Certain people in that group, they're starting to name names. But he was upset in this interview because of what this picture right here of this the president of the United States' wife coming out on Halloween.
I can't you dress up like that?
A panda costume.
That is
She's
fucking
not the
creepy.
only one. A lot of celebrities seem to have come out this Halloween wearing a panda costume, which I thought
Really?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
Especially
again,
since
it's
they're
confirmed.
having all these people coming out against Diddy. Okay.
Exactly.
More and more of them. And you got to remember a lot of these people, and they got all the tapes and stuff. So all they got to do is go through all this shit when each victim comes up and they kind of give a date and times and stuff and what happened to them at these parties. They're going to just start going through all the tapes, which they should already be doing.
I know.
To be able to find out where they are on this list. Right. Well, a lot of these people were like 13 years old.
God,
that were at these parties. But that is one of the things that when you have sex with a small child, they get panda eyes because it busts all the blood vessels around their eyes and makes them have black eyes. So it's like you said, you get in a fight, but you didn't because you didn't get punched in the face. That's from another reason why you have it.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted her to get the massive dickhead award because she knowingly wore that costume for a reason. And I think it's because she's disgusting. So that's my point of view now. That's my point of view.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't mean that I know anything that anyone else doesn't know.
Remember, she's also one of the she is a participant because again she was groomed. She was groomed
and a babysitter for his kids. Okay,
she was groomed as the concubine.
She knows what I'm talking about.
I swear.
But
this is again, my folks. This is my friends.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's sad. It's really, really sad that this type of stuff is so rampant. Yeah. See. Hi, Papa. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I'm sorry I didn't notice you. We started talking.
I love the avatar. It's so cute.
Yeah. So it's all of this stuff. It's disgusting, but I've been talking about this kind of stuff, and that's why I've gotten in so much trouble on my on my channel. That's where I get on my strikes because I talk about child trafficking, human trafficking, but most of my stuff is focused on children because I've had things happen in my own family with my my nieces and stuff, and I'm very passionate about it, and I wish that these people could get rid of. I'll just say that word. But the next thing I wanted to talk about was that they are. It seems like they know that they're not doing what they thought. They're not doing as well. The people aren't going, in lockstep. Like when the masks came out, it seemed like everybody was wearing them, right? It was like, see, look at them. They're jumping to our whatever we tell them to do, they're doing it. Just like what Fauci said, well, he knew the mask didn't work. He knew this and that and the other didn't work, but he didn't care. He just was trying to give people something to make them feel safer. That's what he was saying. And people are still wearing masks right now, walking around. I mean, if you don't have your eyes covered and you don't have your hands washed all the time when you touch anything, you're still going to get
But
sick.
here's the truth. In a way, this I think it's speculation. Of course, I'm just saying the truth.
Mhm.
The satanic overlords have the book of things they need to do. They're doing those things, but now we're waking up. They only have the reference of the book. Keep on saying these things. Hitler, this, garbage, that, and all that stuff, to try and ward off. Because again, back in the day, that used to work, but now it doesn't. We're awake,
Mhm.
and that's why it's frustrating them. Case in point, today, Cardi B was giving a speech for Harris, and the teleprompter broke. So she stopped talking, and she stood up there like an idiot until someone brought her a phone with the words to continue to talk.
Yeah. Well,
Again, they are just puppets.
yeah, but this was another one I thought was really, really interesting. Just the what he talks about in it. It says the media is more on edge than usual because they realize they have one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. They simply cannot believe that half the country wants a real Donald Trump. They're fessing up that their mission is to influence you, not to inform you. And the fact that this is coming from Fox is shocking to me because I quit watching Fox years ago.
Right.
Okay, because I don't trust them anymore. And some of the things that they've said and done, I just don't trust them. So every so often I'll see something and I'll play it because whoever's talking.
Well, a broken clock is right twice every day.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
Here we
sweaty
go.
palms and nail biting in newsrooms across the East Coast because a Trump victory would be the final nail in the media's coffin. An anonymous TV executive admitting if half the country has decided that Trump is qualified to be president, that means they're not reading any of this media. And we've lost this audience completely. A Trump victory means mainstream media is dead in its current form. They're fessing up that their mission is to influence you, not inform you. No one believes them. They lost their juice and they think they're dying.
Yep.
What they don't realize is they've been dead for years. 3 networks and 3 papers choosing the politicians, those days are long gone. Today.
But what's funny when I was watching this the first time was he's talking about his own network.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm shocked they let him say it.
We have cable, talk radio, podcasts, social media. We debunk the hoaxes before the networks can air them. But CBS is still trying to spin Biden's garbage smear. Listen.
He landed in Green Bay just a short time ago and then pulled this campaign stunt, speaking to reporters from a garbage truck, proof that he and his supporters are giving no grace to a gaffe by President Biden, where he, in his explanation, inadvertently called Trump supporters garbage. This, of course, was in response to that racist joke about floating garbage told at a Trump rally just last weekend.
It wasn't a racist joke.
Distancing
This is
herself
it.
from
This
the
is what I'm
negativity
talking
and
about.
trying to drive home her unifying message that if elected,
Oh my
she will
God.
represent all
Trying to drive.
Americans.
How are you putting
O'Donnell
context
heard
that's
Biden
unifying?
Call half the country garbage and told her audience, Biden gaffed, Trump's a racist, and Kamala's a uniter. I can't believe she even moderated the VP debate. This is the same network that chopped up Kamala's 60 Minutes interview to give her better answers. And tonight, Trump announced he's suing CBS over that edit for $10 billion. Billion. But we all know what happened with Biden's garbage smear. Everybody in the country's talking about it. MSNBC says the media shouldn't even cover it.
This campaign is being covered by some of the best reporters I've ever seen and by some of the worst reporters I've ever seen. And the worst of them actually tried to create a controversy today. And those reporters know that that is false. But it is the kind of false narrative that panicked, stupid campaign coverage exists to amplify.
This is why no one trusts the press. We watch a video of the president calling us garbage. Then they tell us it didn't happen and to stop talking about it. Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, is telling his paper, everyone knows we're full of it. Something we're clearly doing is not working. Most people believe the media is biased. Anyone who doesn't see this is paying scant attention to reality. And those who fight reality lose. The media is in a really bad spot right now, but Jake Tapper found the bright side. If Trump wins, they'll make more money.
Should he win, Yeah.
As a writer, you're going to have a lot more material. It's entirely possible that late night ratings, not just for your show, but every comedy show, and also I should acknowledge cable news, will go way up because there'll be a lot more going on. Do you ever think about the election personally versus professionally? Like, are you preparing for a Trump victory in any way, thinking, well, at the very least, it will be good for our family financially?
These guys need help. A study from the Media Research Center shows late night shows mock Trump 98% of the time. Kamala, off limits. Even though she's a walking laughing gas with a VP who's friends with school shooters. Joe Biden, on the other hand, fair game.
President Biden appeared to refer to Trump supporters as garbage. Now, obviously, what he meant to say was nothing. Why are you saying anything? Did you forget that you're so bad at saying things we had to go get somebody else?
It's not a smart thing to say. Joe Biden should drop out of this race immediately.
Today, Kamala Harris was like, could someone drop Joe in a corn maze and leave him there till Wednesday? Just have him wander.
Yeah. The only joke about Democrats once their careers are over. Can't wait to see what they say about Kamala after Tuesday. Glenn Greenwald is a Substack columnist. So very interesting that this is obviously an anonymous TV executive, Glenn. A Trump victory means mainstream media is dead in its current form. Is he right?
I think he's right to the extent that it's actually been true for 8 years. Ever since Trump descended the elevator, the primary narrative of the corporate media has been that Trump is a fascist, Trump is a racist, Trump is a fascist Hitler type figure. And not only did he win in 2016, and let's say he tied in 2020, there's obviously half the country about to vote for him again. And not only half the country, but a huge number of non-white voters, as the media is saying that Trump is a white supremacist, a Hitlerian Nazi figure, have been migrating from the Democratic Party over to Trump. And so you can see in everything that the American people are doing that nothing the media says day after day after day about him has any real effect. The only bizarre part is that it's taking them only until now to realize that their relevance has been rapidly diminishing.
Yeah, they're seeing you're right. The governing coalition is going out the window and their business model shot. And now you have MSNBC complaining about the liberal media. What does it tell you when the liberal media, who usually works in complete unison, is not on the same page?
I try and tell people all this time because I've worked with a lot of liberals in media. I have friends who are on the left liberal side of the media, which is basically the whole media. And when I say this, people don't believe me, but it's really true. Most liberals believe that the problem with the corporate media is that they're pro-Trump and anti-Kamala or anti-Democratic. And I know it's shocking to believe since they're basically overtly defending Kamala, but that is really what their grievance is.
All right. Well, that's shocking because I had no idea how far gone they were. Not gone, but partisan. I still want to make friends with your friends, Glenn. Lastly, the question of how a media will behave in a second Trump term. Jake Tapper talked about it. Maybe it'll be good for business. How do you see things if Trump wins with the media?
Well, it's true that Trump saved a huge number of their jobs. If you go back and look at 2014, 2015, almost every MSNBC and CNN host was on the verge of getting fired because nobody watched them. Trump single-handedly saved their jobs, saved the industry, kind of gave those shows a sugar high. Same with the Washington Post and the New York Times. And so while, of course, they do hate Trump and they're praying every day that he loses and doing everything they can to make sure that happens, they do know in the back of their mind that Democrats are boring. No one wants to hear about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, that Trump is charismatic. He's a showman and he attracts a lot of attention. And I think Jake Tapper asking Seth Meyers, he was projection. That's what Jake Tapper thinks.
Yeah. The media and Trump really have this really twisted symbiotic relationship where they need each other, but they hate each other. But they need each other and hate each other. And I don't want to get any deeper than that. Glenn Greenwald, good to see you. Stay healthy.
Good to see you, Jesse.
There are a lot of
good, really, really on spot. I mean, every single thing he said and everything all of them said, it's blatantly obvious to you and I. We've been seeing it for quite a while. It's just sad that they're finally going, what? Why is it what we're doing? thinking.
I hope they accept the outcome and make money, man. You know, they're going to hire. I think here's the outcome that it should be. Trump wins. You attack him like a hawk continuously on his policies, what he does. Trump's ready for that because he's going to do everything he said he's going to do in the positive outcome that he's laid out, not the negative. And you are all going to just nail the final coffin in your graves for everything that'll be debunked. Think about it. He's going to put RFK in parts of FDA, CDC, all this stuff, and went, man, we need this. That these disenfranchised Democrat, because again, for me, I'm conservative. I never say I'm not a political person. I support, Reagan. I admired, but it was like the first time I voted against the Democrat candidate. I didn't vote for the Republican candidate. My vote was always against something. I'm very anti-government, so I was always against the government. Hey. And then he was talking about me. I'm the doll. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But I just thought that was great. But this next thing was another thing that I heard a lot about this week, and I thought it was important that we watch it because remember, Tuesday, it's 4 days to Election Day. Tuesday is the last chance everybody has to voice their opinion. And do not leave. When you put your ballot in there, if it doesn't come out with the stuff that you wanted or that you picked, you don't leave. Make sure that they give you another ballot or whatever you have to do to make sure your vote goes into the actual machine that it stays in that has the stuff on it that you want. So just make sure you do that, because that's what I'm trying to tell everybody, because they have had a few states have had, some really weird bullshit going on. So I just want to make sure you do it.
It's all about the swing states, because again, how odd is it that all of these election irregularities happen in swing states? And
I don't know. I just think it's weird, but I told you they got away with it. Okay, they got away with taking whatever they needed to get the votes they needed, and it paid off. And everybody kept saying, "Oh, they'll fix it. They'll fix it." And I go, "It's done. Once they accept the votes, which Mike Pence did, it's over." I didn't see what was ever going to change. And everybody kept saying, "Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to do that." It's bullshit. I knew it wasn't. I knew they would never do it. And they already got conspiracy theories this time that Trump's been president this whole time. And whatever. So
the thing is that I didn't know you at the time. But when it was going, I was all about Pence is going to stop it, because I thought he was going to do it. And then when everyone started fighting, I said it's a setup. It's a setup. I saw it's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. That's what I saw. I saw a setup. Yeah. I watched I saw it, and I went, "Oh my God, they're doing it. It's a coup." And then when the narrative came out that it was bad, that was like blackpilled. That was the moment I went, "Oh shit, they really fell for it." The psyop's on.
I don't know. I just, when I started seeing the videos
we're living in
showing the cheating, I knew they weren't going to stop it. They were cheating. I could tell. I've worked in 2 states polling stations many, many times, and seeing anyone pick up another person's ballot and write on it when it isn't yours is illegal. You're not allowed to, especially if they're not standing right next to you and you're fixing something or whatever. I've never seen another person write on another person's ballot.
And
unless it's a spoiled ballot and we're all supposed to initial it. And so we put it in a special envelope and seal it. That's it. So when I saw that, I was like, they're fucking cheating. They're trying to steal it. And they did. So, but I wanted to share this because this is when Mark Cuban said that about Trump, the women around Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Not intelligent. So I saw this young lady, and she's gorgeous. And I liked what she had to say, and I wanted to share it with everybody. So here we go. You guys need to listen to what she has to say. I think she's really smart.
Cuban says that Donald Trump can never be seen around intelligent women.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever.
Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm the most high IQ garbage that you will ever come across, but Mark Cuban will certainly not be the one to take me out because I don't date woke lesbians. I proudly support Donald Trump, and I have done so since 2015, since the iconic moment when he came down the escalator. I first got involved with politics when I was only 15 due to the German refugee crisis, but I quickly realized that the socialist, tyrannical corruption of Western values is a globalist problem. And when Donald Trump announced his candidacy, I knew that he was the man to rage against the machine. So I gave a PowerPoint presentation in my far left politics high school class about why not only Donald Trump was the right choice, but also why I could clearly see that he was going to win with his completely untraditional and offensive campaign. Do I have a college degree? No, because I dropped out of economics very early, just one semester, and I quit. However, I did, even before starting university, write an entire thesis for an economics competition for the Hayek Foundation with the name A Deconstruction of Postmodern Socialism and Its Motives, which basically exposes the entire danger of socialism and how it is now being implemented in postmodern ideology. I have also been working with international scientists and medical experts for the last few years, and I was one of the first ones to debunk the PCR test in the German parliament. I also called out the ineffectiveness of vaccines very early on when it was still prohibited to talk about these issues on YouTube, and Mark Zuckerberg was censoring everything that was related to this issue, as he admitted earlier this year. So I was banned from YouTube, but I kept going. I've also actively been working together with one of the most famous climate skeptics in the world, Lord Christopher Monckton, and his entire international team of mathematicians, physicists, and climate experts. And we have been uncovering the truth about climate change, as the IPCC actually made a fatal mistake in their original equation for the climate sensitivity, which predicts the amount of impact that CO2 emissions actually have on the climate. But as it turns out, the IPCC completely forgot or neglected, potentially on purpose, who knows, I don't want to ascribe any motives to them. They neglected the solar input in this equation, meaning that the output in reality is largely influenced by the sun, but they claim that it's CO2 emissions. But the real output from CO2 emissions, the real feedback strength, is basically negligible. But people like you, Mark Cuban, you wouldn't know this because most liberals don't actually pay attention, and instead they call us stupid garbage, while they are virtue signaling and denying biology and pressuring us with lawfare and censorship. Well, I'm not putting up with it anymore, and I'm here to fight, fight, fight with a big brain.
Good for her. Yeah, doesn't that make you feel good to know that young people like that, because she's very young, she looks very young, are already awake. She's already sees the bullshit, okay? And oh my God, I'm praying that we get more people like her that are young and they're realizing that this is all fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's so weird. We're now living like the 60s, the hippies, like the counter-revolutionaries, but now it's the based kids that are basically calling out the bullshit. It's like it's reverse.
I know, I love it. And I got one more woman that I wanted to bring up about the whole Mark Cuban thing. You guys are all gonna love her, so I wanted to share this with you too. Make sure I open the right one. Oh, so sicky, suck at this stuff. So hold on. Oh my goodness, I don't know why they're not in order. This makes me so mad. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. All right. President Trump empowered me and millions of other women who will vote to put him back in the White House on Tuesday. So here we go. And she's going to talk about Mark Cuban herself. Make sure it's turned up. Yeah, here we go.
Mark Cuban just said there are no strong, intelligent women around President Trump. It's a disgusting lie. And it's pretty funny coming from Democrats who can't even tell you what a woman is. I worked for President Trump for 2.5 years. Democrats tried to tear me down. President Trump empowered me and every other woman in America. My name is Sarah Sanders, and I'm proud to join the millions of smart, intelligent women who will stand with Donald Trump this Tuesday. Mark.
Yay. I love
Yeah,
her.
she could be president. She could be president.
Oh, I just love her. I've met her
Yes, I'm saying.
many times
Yeah,
at
but
different events,
it's
and
so
she is wonderful.
It's so weird. The lineup we have, if you just take women, Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, just who are the Luna, Robert, Archie Green. It's these are strong women, in my opinion. And just and again, I would not be ashamed that any of them got the nomination in a democratic way, or through the process, through the process of in the primary system.
Yeah, and but the thing is that one day, what's funny about this whole Mark Cuban thing is one day he's saying, well, I'm willing to help Trump, if he needs my help, blah, 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 blah. And then the next couple days later, he says this about women, that Trump doesn't have any decent women around him. I mean, why? See, that's what I don't understand. That's one of the things that I just get dumbfounded by, is they say one thing that's halfway smart, and then the next day or 2 days later, they say something that's totally opposite of what they had just said.
Right.
Why? I mean, why do they think that that's going to work? What do they think it's going to accomplish? See, it doesn't make any sense. They have no common sense at all, apparently, at least in my point of view. That's what I'm looking at. I really worked really hard and try to listen to what they're saying and put it together to see if it makes any sense. Trying to understand where are they coming from. And I have conversations with them, but they all say the same thing. Well, I'm for women's rights. And I'm like, I'm a woman. You don't think I care about women's rights? I don't know. I just don't understand. It's so frustrating. And I just get flabbergasted over it.
It's all about everything hinges on one thing with them. And again, I'm being dramatically dark, but in a way, it's focused on death. It's focused on death. The fact that this is my body. They're saying, I want to take that life. That's the bottom line. It's in my way. It's an inconvenience. It's heartless thinking. Yeah. It is. And again, I get it if you really have a problem, but again, we should help anybody who's having a problem and working on it out. But the bottom line, everything's a negative. It's death. It's not life. The idea that when they said that doing your own research was dangerous, that is very, very dark. That's the death of thought.
Well, it's because they don't want you to do your own research, because they want to hand you and spoon feed you whatever bullshit that they want you to believe. That is proof. They do it all the time. They constantly try to get you to believe all the whatever. But it's easy to do that with people that are sitting there sucking on the government tit. That's all they're doing. They don't want to get rid of the tit, so they listen and do it, and they just do their whatever they're told, because they want that money.
I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it, but I want to enjoy it again. So I'm doing that, because one of the first things I did, now that I got my money, I have my phone that I have here, and then I have I got my iPhone back.
Yeah.
So
but you're not what I'm talking about, Ruben. What? You worked for many, many years. And just like me, we all put money in, so that if something does happen, they're supposed to help us. Just like what we just saw happen with FEMA.
Right.
Needed, and where's all the money gone? They've been sending it to Ukraine and every other country, except for our people, where the money should be. When legitimate people need the money, it's not available. How convenient is that for them? But then within a week later, they're sending more money to Ukraine. See, they're full of shit. That's what it is. But this gentleman I wanted to share, he's in Indiana, and it said mail-in ballots being requested and cast for Americans who did not request mail-in ballots and vote by mail. The mail-in ballot was requested and used to vote for this American. He said he got up to the clerk and gave him my ID. They looked me up and down in the computer, and they said, wait a minute. It says here you requested and received it, returned a mail-in ballot.
What?
Yeah, so I want you to listen to this. This is little things that I try to find because I want a mixture of, as much as I can get, but real people telling you about their experience. So here we go. Listen to this guy.
So I just finished voting, and the odd thing was when I got up to the clerk, gave him my ID, they looked me up in the computer and they said, wait a minute, it says here that you requested, received, and returned mail-in ballot. And I was like, no, I didn't. So I had to do a provisional vote today, and then I had to sign an affidavit saying that I never received or returned an absentee ballot. And I guess I got to call some number after election day to see if my vote got counted. So I wonder how many people that kind of shit happened to, because tell me how this voting system is flawless and fair. So I just finished voting.
There you go. So what do you think about that? See, that's what
I tell you. Yeah, I know.
That should never happen.
Right.
See, if somebody came up to us, the way the polling station where I'll be working is that we have the book from the clerk's office, okay, for our precinct. And then we have two people next to that person with paper that you write the names on, and it's got carbon copies. Like I said, we take one off, goes with the votes, and one goes in the window, and then one goes to the county clerk's office so she can put in who voted, blah, 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 right? Because all their information's on there.
Yeah,
and then you have a gentleman or a woman who's ever drawn sitting at the end of our table that has the box that the ballots are going to go in. Now, all he does is sit there and make sure the person puts one ballot into the box face down. That's it. That's all he does, or she, whoever sits there. And then that at the end of the night, that box is the box that we're going to open at our table and count, so that we know in our precinct how many votes we had and who there were for. And we have a little tally sheet that comes out with everybody's name on it, and we'll fill it all out. Us at this table together, not one person just sitting there writing on whatever bullshit there is. See, if you do it the way that it's set up, it's fair. I've worked, 25 different elections in 2 different states.
Right.
And each time I've done it, I felt very confident that if everybody's doing it, which I assumed, until 2020, I assumed everybody did it like that, at least similar to where if you had enough people there, you're all just randomly drawn, just like you would for jury duty, right? At least I thought. How could it not be fair if everybody in those chairs cared about it, because you have a vote too? See,
right.
That's how I looked at it. Maybe I'm just a dumb, naive, dumb.
Well,
military kid that thought that. And then when I saw
that
shit, I was pissed.
But people are being divided so much that unfortunately there are some people that would cheat because they're too afraid that they'd lose, but they're doing it out of fear, which is very despicable. And the people that coerce them to do this, if it doesn't.
But you know what? I don't think it is that. I don't think people are doing that in fear. I think people that are doing the cheating, they're doing it for money. That's what they're doing it for. I really do. And it's sad because just like I've said about all these people that I feel honestly believe, and I've heard a few people talking about it. I think it was that Dinesh D'Souza or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
he did the whole thing with how they were moving the ballots around and stuff like that, and they tracked cell phones showing them picking up the ballots and then going to the ballot box, dropping them off, and then going back around and going and getting their check. And then they get more ballots and they go to another box and drop it off. And they were following the phones, seeing these little circles these people were doing. Well, they were saying they had done the same. They've been doing the same thing at these rallies or these big groups that Camilla's doing, showing basically someone from out of state, a group of them apparently in a bus, all traveling together, all the cell phones, and then going to the location, getting off, doing their whatever, woohoo, yay, Camilla, get back on their bus, and then watching them all go back over state lines and not even in their own state, that type of stuff. And then the same people from generally the same area coming to the next event. And so they're paid people. That's why their campaign people, I guess, are saying they need more money because they're having to pay all these people to show up. I wonder how much they paid Beyonce, or maybe they just threatened and said, hey, if you don't show up, we're going to show this video. Or so, I don't know. I have no idea. But she didn't perform. She just walked around and people got up and left when Beyonce didn't perform. So, I don't know. I just, all I know is I've talked to about 5 people that personally went to different rallies, and every one of them said that was many people, so many people. They see people. They couldn't even see how many people were there. Were so many, but they weren't paid to go there. They went there because they wanted to be there. Some of them stood in rain. Others stood for hours out in the heat, and I don't know. I would love to go. And the one time he came to Arkansas, I wasn't here. So I was like, that sucked because I was working. But the thing is that I haven't seen anybody make a video or anything saying I was paid to go to a Trump rally. I just haven't seen that. So, and that's why I try to each week, I try to get on Craigslist and Angie's List and look for gigs. And I look for these are the things I look for is like skinheads at a protest, because it's a gig. They're going to pay you a flat rate amount of money. Mm-hmm. You show up, and because you contact the person on the list, and they'll say, hey, where are you supposed to go, and who you're supposed to talk to, whatever, and you get paid for 8 hours, 12, 6 hours, whatever it says on the gig. But they look for protesters or people, sick people for an emergency room, things like that. Weird stuff like that. I look for that kind of stuff because they usually have lots of those in big cities because people look at those for jobs, for background work, different things like that they would work for a movie. And you would think it was for a TV show or, whatever it is, or it could be a thing. Sometimes they do it for firemen in, those huge places like in New Orleans. They needed 20 people to show up and just lay around and let them get bandaged up and put on gurneys and walk them around. So because they were doing a real drill, for the fire department, the police department, for in case it was something, a fire broke out or whatever. And they train that way. And people get paid, and the people show up and lay around and let them put bandages on them and stuff like that. But it can be legit. But I've been seeing it, just like I said, way back when COVID, when they were saying that all the people were sick and the emergency rooms were packed.
Yep.
And they had all the videos coming out, and then other people would go live and go to the emergency room, and they're looking around going, there's nobody here.
Right.
It's just like 7 people in the whole place. So it was all bullshit, and they were just trying to scare people into going and getting the shots and shit.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
It is. It's really sad that they manipulate people by trying to scare them. Okay, let's see. What was the next one? I think it's this one. Let me see. No, that's not it. I keep thinking I hear my rooster crowing, but I know it isn't. It can't be him. Idaho. I'm trying to find. It says the Prime Minister of Hungary exposes a document proving George Soros is largely behind the global illegal migrant thing, and that's the article I'm trying to find. Let me see if this is it or not. Yeah, this is it, I think. Yeah. Okay, let me pause it. There's 2 different videos that I want to share. So I don't know how to make this bigger. So every time I try, it gets messed up. See, it won't get bigger. But I'm going to click on this video first. Oh, there it goes.
published his plan in English in a Project Syndicate publication. It was done 2015, September 26th. And he published a plan. He said that he is my, I'm quoting, here are the 6 components of my comprehensive plan. I just quote 2 or 3 points of that. First is, he said very clearly, 2015, that, quoting again, EU has to accept at least 1 million asylum seekers annually. That was the first point. Second, he said, adequate financing is critical. And he proposed to issue long-term euro bonds for financing the migration crisis and the migrants' social and welfare taking care when they arrive to the European Union. And another point which is very important for Hungary, which is involving the territory of Hungary directly into this program, he said that, quoting them, safe channels must be established for asylum seekers, starting with getting them from Greece and Italy to their destination countries, which means to bring them to Greece, to Hungary, and then have them go to Austria. So don't forget that what we are speaking about is not an accidental stories, not a bulk of 10 years of accidental stories. It's a plan which is going on. It was written, it was published, it's known. So we are fighting again an organized gang called Empire of George Soros, NGOs, who are just supporting everybody who is transgressing our legal system and our regulation, and financing illegal activity against our nation. So this is why the story is not just about migration, but it's about how this European Union is working and how George Soros was able to captive the main positions inside many institutions of European Union, buying out MPs and other leaders, and in order to execute the plan which is written, and it's against all the Christian and nation-based political forces. It's against us. It's about how to change Europe and how to eliminate and push aside all the Christian, conservative, national-based political leaders and voters from the European Union decision-making body. So this is the migration about, not just about migration. Sorry for.
You see that he's trying to show that this was all set up, and this is how they're going to do it. This is how you bring in all the other religions. I won't say who they are, and get rid of the Christianity. You push them aside and you push them out of the way, and these people will come and they'll pop out babies left and right, and we'll put them on the system and pay to take care of all of them, and they'll vote. So basically, the same thing we're in.
The first person, the only person in California's history to run with no Republican opponent for U.S. Senator.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then there's another suspect thing, One West Bank. George Soros was the major investor in One West Bank. Mnuchin, later the Obama administration, 1 year in the Trump administration before he got fired, he was CEO. When they were having that mortgage foreclosure fraud situation. I had 3 neighbors lost their properties behind this fraud. So just about every county in California returned indictments against Mnuchin and One West Bank. There were 5,200 plus counts of indictments returned. 5,200. Well, Soros and Mnuchin raised a lot of money for Kamala, quite a few $1 million for her to run for the office of Attorney General of the state of California. When she got elected, she used her authority to consolidate all of these indictment counts and dismiss them. 3 weeks later, George Soros sells One West Bank for $3.42 billion. And then they raised a lot of money to get her elected as U.S. Senator without Republican opposition. Now, can you imagine California with no Republican candidate running against the Democratic Party candidate? See, that's how she gets in. And at that point, she was Indian.
Oh, yeah. She was sworn in as Indian.
Yeah. So she wasn't talking about being black.
Yeah, see, See, George Soros is the reason why she got into office to set her up for where she is today.
Yep.
It's all of this. If people would listen and read and then put that in a file or notebook and just start following all this stuff, you know, it's a huge web of deception. I mean, tons and tons and tons of it, layer on top of layer.
Yep.
Many people involved, but they're all getting something from it. Just like, I don't know who she had to blow or she had to do or whatever to get to that point where Soros was saying, this woman is somebody that we can use
Right.
to get what we need. See what I mean? So, and Obama's involved, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Pelosi, all these people, every single one of these people are all involved in making sure whatever this is, and it's not just us, as this other gentleman was saying, it's in Europe. And look at what's happening to them. I saw some people showing video, of downtown London, and when they showed it in one of the spaces I was in, it's a British space, and I sent her some messages and said, "Well, where is that? Is that in what country is that in?" And she told me, she said, "That's London." I said, "Oh, I thought it was like Saudi Arabia or something."
Right.
Because it didn't look like anybody from Europe. It looked like all Muslims, every single one of them. They're in the street praying and walking all around. No women. I didn't see any women unless they had a couple of women in hijab.
Yes, some areas like in Australia are like segregated for Muslims and stuff.
It was just really eye-opening for me to see some of this stuff because it's shocking.
Yeah.
It's shocking how much they've had control of, and little by little, just like they were saying, they do it. Just a senator here, or just a judge over there, just a lawyer over there. Here, they're setting them up strategically, right? And then when they get someone in office and they're able to put somebody on the Supreme Court, and I'm still flabbergasted that any person that goes on the Supreme Court, I thought their job was to uphold the Constitution, right? That's what I thought their job was, not to lean left or right or any of that, to read the Constitution and do the law from the Constitution. So how can you have somebody that's up there now, which we have as a Supreme Court justice, that can't say what a woman is?
Yeah.
You know, we're in deep shit. I mean, our country's in deep shit. There's 3 people right now that I know of that will vote for anything and everything the Democrat tells them to vote for, not for the Constitution. See?
Right.
Okay. Because I've seen them do it over and over again.
Yep.
And Clarence Thomas basically is the only one I really trust out of the whole bunch, because I don't really know that much about him. And, I know Trump just put 2 new people on it when he was president, but I don't know whether or not they've really, what kind of job they've done. I guess I'm gonna have to start digging in and start looking and seeing what they've been doing. But it just seems like they're just laying around right now. There's so much chaos going on, and then they sat there when Biden did that one speech, and he basically told them they're all fuckers and he hated them or whatever. I don't know, that they're trying to ruin America or something. I don't know what. He was nuts. I mean, it's like a movie. It's like this isn't real. Right. Like none of this shit is real. It's like, when am I gonna fucking wake up? I'm sick of this dream.
I know. But like I said, that's where you got to think. How'd you say it? The shit's not going to end until everyone feels the shit storm. It hasn't happened yet. We are awake, but we know people are still asleep. So, in my opinion, I want more people to wake up, because then, and again, because what's going to happen is if there's a sudden, catastrophic event, God forbid, people that are programmed by the virus, TDS, and other things, liberal by mind virus, are going to freak out. They'll self-delete. They will go insane because they have no coping mechanism. You have people now that are complaining about the 5-day work week. they're overstressed. They want to cut down to 4 days. And I'm going, my God, it's like they don't understand hard work or anything like that. They can't cook a meal. They don't know how to drive. Because again,
and they order everything. I don't know how they afford that. I was listening to some young people. They were in their 20s. I think a couple of them were still in college, and one of them had a regular job being a server at a restaurant or something. And I was listening to them talk about some different things, and they were talking about just things they do during the week. And they were saying, and I said, well, what do you buy when you go to the grocery store? And they went, juice, bread, a few things. And I said, well, what about your meals, your dinners? And they said, well, I order Uber Eats. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah. And I go, how many times a week? Every day. And I was like, what? That's like $40 a day that they're spending on one meal.
I know. That's insane.
I that's why they all have credit card debt. These people, this George Soros people, know exactly what they're doing. They get the kids in college. They get them all hooked on credit cards, what mom and dad are helping with, right? But the thing is, one day mom and dad's not there. Now they have credit card debt. And guess what? I've seen a couple of things I was listening to about this whole Arizona scandal that was going on with the titles and all that stuff. And one of the stories was that there was a guy, he was a lawyer, and he was really bad in debt. I mean, he was using credit cards. He had a wife and a couple kids, and he couldn't pay his bills, basically. So they came in, the cartel people came in and said, okay, we're going to pay off all your debt, and we're going to get you a house. We're going to do this, and we're going to help you become a judge. And once you become a judge, all you got to do is make sure you sign get off all these titles and stuff for us to give us this land and stuff like that. And as long as you do that, we're going to take good care of you. So he did it. He took the money, paid off all his bills, and that now they own him. So now I understand a lot of it because they own all these people. So what you got to do is you got to take out the people that own these people, get these people to swap or say the proof, or whatever, that they blackmailed me to having to do this. I was worried about this, that, and the other, and give them, get them sentence these people because they got to pay something. Just because they're a whistleblower doesn't mean that you get off scot-free after they've ripped off millions of people. Other people lost their homes, other people lost their vehicles and their jobs while he got a nice, fancy, cushy job and a house and was, stealing people's properties right out from under them. See what I mean? So he should be punished too, but a lighter sentence than he would get because he's given us up the other information. Stuff like that, I really believe we can make a difference. But see, that's one state at a time. Like I'm always saying, you got to go back to your state and you got to kick some ass in your towns and get rid of these assholes and stop and put them in prison or whatever you have to. But see, I'm lucky. I'm in a state that I know our governor will do that. She kicked China out. She told China, get the fuck out. We don't want you to buy our property, that kind of stuff. She does care about this country. She does care about what kind of life that she's going to leave for her kids and her grandchildren one day, So if we could just get more people like that, I think it'd help. But one way I think it can really make a difference is when you have states like California, Oregon, Washington, New York that are just frivolous spending money like they don't care because they think the spigot's never going to turn off.
Right.
When they're hurting, like before with California, and they start saying, well, we got to bail them out, the rest of us states. Well, Arkansas has a balanced budget amendment. Why should Arkansas have to pay one dime to any other state to bail them out of debt because they're a bunch of dumbasses running your state? Why should your taxpayers in your state have to bail you out? See, that's wrong. I wish they could somehow make that illegal, that if they outspend the money, then they have to pay it out of their checks. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take it out of the Senate's paychecks or the congressman or whoever that spent the money on frivolous shit that they didn't tell the taxpayers they were going to spend it on, and take it out of their own accounts. I think that'd be really great. I think it might work. It might actually get somebody to get off their ass and do shit. But here's the other one I thought was really interesting. I would love for you guys to listen to. This is Jesse again, but yeah, some of the stuff he does, I have him on every so often. I think he's just really good at some of the things he talks about. Here we go.
Since Johnny begged me to go to the Trump rally, I decided we'd have to send him to Kamala's too. Fair and balanced. So
Oh no.
your big night in the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. that Joe Biden's on. Watch.
Girl
Here's my
power.
sentence. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because
she is a black woman.
She's the best choice.
I hate Donald Trump.
All right, brother.
There are still some undecided voters out there. How would you convince them to vote for Kamala?
I'm not sure what to say.
Limiting fracking.
She's amazing, and why not?
So vote for Kamala because she's amazing.
Yes, basically.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Let's say an undecided voter says, I don't like the things Trump says, but the economy was better under Trump and my wallet was better. You'd say, that's false. It can't be.
Was it really, though?
So you're saying, don't believe your bank account.
That is correct.
There are more important things than your wallet.
Let me tell you something. I love this guy.
Undecided voters say they don't know who Kamala Harris is. Who is Kamala Harris?
She has done a lot of things for, in terms of,
what the hell are all you people showing up for?
she gave new opportunities for immigrants.
She's my soror.
If Kamala gets to the Oval Office, what is the first executive order she should sign?
Women's rights.
Women's rights. Student loan forgiveness.
Biden couldn't do it.
Biden did his best.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Kamala says Donald Trump is a fascist. Is he? I would say so.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
What is fascism?
Fascism. I'm not too 100% sure. I can't give you verbatim what fascism is.
I'm not entirely too sure what that means.
Fascism is a very big word. Why are prices so high right now?
Because of Trump. Duh.
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.
We're still going through the effects of COVID.
Why isn't Kamala bringing those prices down now?
I'm not too sure.
Corporate price gouging.
Who's gouging the prices?
Just everything, I feel like.
Ask a better question.
You don't want to answer?
It's not a good question.
Let's not do any more questions. Let's just listen to music. Who the hell wants to hear questions, right?
Oh my God.
Kamala says there's no difference between her and Joe Biden. Can you think of a difference?
She's a woman. He's a man.
Wow, she can tell the difference.
difference I can see.
She will be more progressive.
Bingo.
She is more liberal on a lot of issues.
How liberal is she?
More liberal than crazy Bernie Sanders. He's crazy, you know.
I don't really see too much of a difference between them two.
Do we need change right now?
We do.
You're going to vote for the current administration.
Yes.
But there's no difference between her and Joe, you said. And you want change.
So
We need to stay on the same path as we're doing. That's really working out. Yes.
We do, and we need it now.
Who are you going to vote for?
I can't say that.
Whisper in my ear. You're voting for Trump?
Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
What do you want to tell Jesse Waters on Fox?
You, Jesse Waters.
I love you, but I'm not telling anyone. Don't tell anyone. Hard pass.
You don't want to tell him anything?
Kiss my ass.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
Now the thing is, this is what I try to tell people. These are real people. They go to work, or I think they have homes, they eat, they have babies. They're just like us, except their point of view on where they think our country should be going, that type of stuff. These
They're
people
followers. They're
Yeah, but
followers.
these people are gonna vote. Okay, and when you vote and we end up winning, we're helping these people buy more Uber,
Oh
get
God.
more birth control and more condoms or whatever else for female needs, because they said she's going to help with women's rights. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, but the thing is that one thing
I'm a woman and I have the same rights as you. I can go to the doctor. I can go buy food. I can buy a car. I can buy a house. I can.
Here's
buy
how sad it is.
tickets.
Here's how really sad it is. And it exemplifies what I was saying regarding the idea that they want to have drones, not people. They don't want to have individuals. They want to have you conform. Remember when they were doing the Kamala, and then she goes, "Okay, everyone else, scream out your own name," and they froze because they have no individuality. They have no thought. So when you say something of that directs to themselves, they have no self-identity, and then they just lock up.
They had no answers. But did you see that? The looks on their face when he actually asked them, well, what does she want? Right. I mean, you're going to vote for the same thing. You said you want to change, but now you're going to vote for the same people that have done nothing. Exactly. And what do you think they're going to do different? See, they have no answers at all, but these people are going in droves like robots. Because they're that tit's moving along and they're dragging along while they're sucking on it, because they know that whatever they want, these people are going to supposedly give it to them. I guess. I don't know. There's none of it makes any sense at all. It's all ridiculously stupid. It's scary because those people are really going to make a difference. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We're getting worried about you for a second. I'm almost done. So the next thing I wanted to bring up.
No, since I've been moving the last few days, again, I can walk, but again, if I've been doing a lot of stuff the last few days, traveling, getting groceries, doing this, coming here, doing that. And then this been, it exacerbates my nerves. So the nerves are just giving me problems right now, but I'm fine.
Okay, I think this is it's a Sean Ryan interview. I thought was pretty good. I thought we'd listen to this. Okay, and they're asking him, who do you think is running the country? You guys know who Sean Ryan is? I watch a lot of his his videos where he interviews people and stuff. It's pretty interesting. He's not real big yet, but one day I think he's going to be pretty big. I think he's really smart, and I like his style of how he interviews people. But here we go. He's getting interviewed this time.
I don't think the willpower is within Washington. I think the willpower is within the people, and the people are going to have to step up. What I think the Western world should be concentrated on, especially America, would be we need to get our own house in order fast. Yeah, we can talk about China, Russia, Iran, BRICS, in terrorism. None of that matters if we don't get our own house in order. There are so many catastrophic failures within America right now, from the border to the outrageous spending to funding two sides of a war. What are we even defending if we don't have our house in order? We have runaway politicians. We have corporations that are controlling all of our politicians. We have other countries sending spies here to sleep with our politicians. Unless people start waking up and paying attention and looking at who's running this country. Who do you think is running the country? My current conclusion would be that it is foreign influence, corporations, lobbyists. I think money runs the country. I don't remember who said it, but I heard this a long time ago, and I've always thought about it. I've always heard that capitalism will eventually eat itself, and I think we're seeing that. Just for example, when big pharma lobbies all these politicians, that's why our food is all poison in this country, because they want preservatives in the food so that it has a longer shelf life so that they can make more money. It's not about
exactly.
It's about who's going to pay me to pass this law. I think it's the same with medicine. The FDA's got to be one of the biggest scams of all time.
Yeah. There you go. Every single thing he said is facts, I feel.
Yeah, no. I wholeheartedly agree. And that's the whole idea. The cycle of the last 100 years, I would say, 1924 to 2024, has been this great experiment, or this, they call it experimenting because I say it's human torture. It's human, they're torturing people. Every event that occurred since the forming or the beginning of the League of Nations to now is their insidious plot. They're moving the chess pieces across. all the wars, all the conflicts, everything going on around. It's just a big game that they're playing, and we are just the players in the game, and they're betting on us through the stock market. That's the whole. That's the ultimate nightmare. We are in that dystopian nightmare where we are under being oppressed. But there are those that try to rise up. Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Gandhi. And what happened to those guys? They got assassinated because they went against what the game's all going on. And that's the reason why that things happen. And I see that now more clear than ever.
Well, this last bit I wanted to talk about before the show's over is about the jabs. Okay, about little things that have been coming out here and there about the jabs, and how people keep saying they're never going to force people, but they have been forcing people. When they tell you you're not going to have a job, you're not going to be able to take care of your family anymore, and you're going to have to move or whatever, to me, that's being forced. You know what I mean? They made the people leave the military and different other positions by not getting it. And they let people like post office people and stuff like that not have to get it. See, it was biased. Okay. It wasn't fair across the board. Just like I said on YouTube and a bunch of other stuff, they treat one person this way and they treat the other person totally different. And to me, that's wrong. So
think about it. Here's the thing. Here's something insidious. The Postal Service is actually CIA funded. When you think about it, because they have to be, because then they have since the inception of the country
You can't force me to do anything.
to have since the invention of this country to have that system where they can surveil and know everything about you by email you. They said it's a communication. They've known this for that long.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's scary. But I saw this. This was a video that I saw. Nobody forced you to take the vaccine. Okay. And this is a video of forced vaccination. This gentleman, it's got his phone going the whole time. And he's saying, no, he doesn't want this shot, the jab. So I want you guys to watch this. This is, this is what they would do to everybody. I really do believe it if they had the way to do it.
I asked for a lawyer, brother. I can't do that. Can't do that. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? No, not under arrest. Well, how can you force me to do something? James, not to. How can you force me to do something if I'm not under arrest?
Listen, I'm trying to explain to you. The
Shit don't change.
doctors talk to you.
Shit don't change, bro. Y'all talked to me when I was a kid.
I'm trying to explain.
I was a kid too. I'm a man now. Listen to it, man. I'm a man now. Okay, I'm listening.
So the doctors talk to you. They did not feel like you have the capacity to make medical decisions based off their discussion with you. And so
how do I not have that? I'm a grown man now. How do I not have the capacity? Y'all know what revolution is? You know what a revolution is? Huh?
What does that have to do with you being?
Do you know what a revolution is? Do you know what a revolution is, brother?
You don't even.
This shit gotta change. All this shit gotta change. It's called a revolution.
Yeah.
So why did you come here? Because I felt like I was sick.
Okay, and
I felt like I was sick.
We're the people that can help you.
Okay, but y'all not gonna put a needle in my arm. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, well,
you can't make me do something against my will. That is not right. I'm a man. So, and I would die for that, bro.
You got doctors.
I would die for that, bro.
You got doctors and
It
nurses.
doesn't work like that. Even if I'm feeling bad, you cannot force me to do anything, bro.
We're not trying to force you.
It doesn't matter. No, I'm not getting on the bed, bro. You can't make me get on the bed, bro. It don't work like that, bro.
But look at him. He's surrounded by people. So how would he not feel like he's on the defensive? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because when I was sick, I remember telling you it was last year and I was sick for 4 days. I was so nauseated. I got to where I was almost so dehydrated, which wasn't good because I was so dehydrated. I mean, so nauseous. I couldn't do anything. I was so nauseated. Right. And finally, I went to the emergency room and my daughter took me to the emergency room. Okay. She was worried about me. And I went in there and they came in and they said, do you have COVID? And I said, no, I don't have a fever or anything. I'm just nauseous. Just give me something to make me not be nauseous. And they said, well, we got to test you for COVID. And I said, well, you're not sticking that up my nose. If you're going to test me, you got to take my blood. and I watched her, take the blood and everything. And I get allergy shots every week. So it's like, I'm used to needles and all that.
Right.
And so I had to sit and wait while they did it, but they gave me an IV because I was dehydrated because I hadn't been able to hold any liquids down or anything. And I realized after they finally started getting better, once they gave me some liquids and stuff, and I was taking some kind of Phenergan or something, whatever it was for nausea, I started feeling better. So I was trying to rack my brain of why I got sick and realized that I had ants really bad coming from the back door up into my, and I had sprayed, okay, and I forgot about it. Forgot that I had sprayed the ants, but then I was cleaning and I saw the dead ants. So I got one of those, Clorox wipes and just started wiping it all up. But God, I'm allergic to everything. And guess what? I didn't have gloves on.
Oh no.
I was sick. I mean, it was so sick. And that's when I finally realized, once I stopped being nauseous, I realized what I had done. I could have killed myself with poison. But I was fine. I ended up being all right. And they came back and told me, you don't have COVID. And I said, I told you I didn't. But the nurses were right there with me. But the doctor never left the door frame. He had a mask on and gloves and everything. He was just standing there like I was like going to kill him. This was last year. So I don't know. And I've never had COVID, and I don't know. But this guy, okay, he's a big guy. He's not a little bitty kid or anything. But look at him. All those people with masked up telling them they're going to give him a shot.
Right.
Because they don't think that he knows how sick he is, that he's not making good medical decisions for himself. And see, I don't know how this is in America. So let's play the rest of it.
Yeah,
it do not work like that, bro. It don't work like that. You can't make me get on the bed, bro. I'm not a prisoner. I'm in America, bro. This is a free country. I know my rights. Okay. All right, you're in the room with. Give me a lawyer. I want a lawyer before y'all touch me. Okay. It doesn't work like that, bro. You can't. No.
I'm giving it to you cold, man. All right. But just like you don't want to put your hands on me, I don't want to put my hands on you. Okay. But the thing about it, man.
Well, we gonna tear this bitch up.
But ain't nobody even trying to do that.
All right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't touch me. Then.
But then,
if you don't want to tear this bitch up, don't touch me.
Well,
do not touch me.
You're not cooperating with me.
I'll pay you. I'm trying to be cooperative. I don't want to do that.
I know, but then the thing about it is that
it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Don't touch me, bro. We can tear this bitch up, bro. I'm gonna tear this bitch up, bro. Shit, get away from me. Please, I have my personal space. Okay, I want my space, bro. I'm gonna show y'all. I will show y'all, bro. I know what's right, bro.
Okay, well, you're not giving me no option.
I'm telling you, bro. Please leave me alone.
Okay,
well, please leave me alone, bro. Like y'all should did when I was a kid. Medical doctors fuck with me. Y'all fuck my head up, bro. We will tear this bitch up right now, bro. I'm begging you, bro. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone, bro.
I didn't say you get on the bed.
I'm not getting on the bed.
Man, help me out, bro.
It doesn't work like that, bro. Anybody know a lawyer, bro? Somebody send me a lawyer? Bro, no! Come on, Jay. It don't work like that, man. This ain't right, bro. Don't put now, bro, leave me alone. I don't want to leave him alone. It don't work like that. No, it does not work like that, bro. No. Y'all didn't take mental health awareness, mental health help, all that. Man, no, man. Come on, man. Bro, no. The time is now. The time is now. No. I'm not on drugs, none of that, bro. I'm sane. I'm a sane man. Y'all the ones that's crazy. Y'all the ones that's crazy, bro. No. No. Get your motherfucking hands on me, bro. You don't work like this, bro. I'm telling you, get on my mother. Get on me. Get on me, bro. You don't work like that. I'm not crazy. You crazy, right, man. Leave me alone, bro. Yeah, you did. I'm not scared of nothing, bro. I'm not scared of that, bro. Please leave me alone, bro. You don't work like that, bro. Y'all weak in the face. Come on. Stop. Help. Stop. Help, man. This shit ain't right, bro. Stop. I ain't saying right. All right. It's going to be a revolution now. Y'all already know how to start. Y'all put that in motion. Yeah. Shit got to change in America, bro. This is not right, man. This is not right, bro. This is not right, bro. We don't want anything happen to you. No, man. Y'all don't care about me, man. Y'all greedy, bro. Y'all selfish. Y'all are greedy.
But that I thought was terrible. to put you in a room like that. And when I wouldn't let my daughter leave. I made her stay with me because I was so weak. I didn't think I'd be able to defend myself if they tried to do something to me against my will. And
Right.
I don't trust doctors anymore.
Nope.
Any doctor that knowingly gives you something that they wouldn't take for themselves because they're going to make some money off of it or whatever, shouldn't be able to have a license. You know what I'm saying? I really don't believe that. And I know you feel the same way I do. That's why you are taking care of yourself.
Yep. Yep.
So,
we're living in a giant psyop.
Yeah, it's so scary though. And I have another friend. They were talking about they were going to need surgery, and they were afraid about getting blood.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, well, you need to talk to people in your family that have the same blood type as you, and let them be available to give blood if you need it, during your surgery or whatever. Or you can go early, donate some blood,
Yes.
have it ready for you and things like that, because they said they were petrified that they were going to get blood of somebody that has had the COVID vaccine, and they didn't want that. And isn't that terrible? That's where we are.
And you know what's important? It's also important to donate blood.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
I used to donate. I donated. I got a pin over there, over 4 gallons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've given over 4 gallons and platelets. I've donated platelets too, because I have very, very high platelet count.
Yeah.
And I used to do it every month. Because I believe in that stuff. But now I haven't done it since. All this stuff happened, because I don't know what they're going to jab me with. I don't trust them.
I know.
Now I trust my nurse that I have, because I'm friends with her, that gives me my allergy shots.
Yeah.
I trust her.
That's what I'm saying.
And I've been doing it for 3 years, so
that's what I'm saying.
I'm pretty used to it.
Because again, it has health benefits too. You doing that?
Well, I can tell it's starting to work, especially since it's been over a month and a half now since I've stopped eating. I'm trying not to eat gluten. Right. And I can tell a difference, that my elbows don't itch, just different things like that. So I think my allergy medicine is going to start working better. It's injecting me with things I'm allergic to, in this state. So I think it's going to help my body realize, hey, you shouldn't be afraid of this, that, and the other, whatever it is. Now that I've gotten the gluten out, and I'm starting to get it out, it's out of my system, and starting to eat better without gluten in it. And I think it's starting to make me feel better too. So hopefully. But that was the last thing I wanted to show, because I just thought it was, heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, here's the, I got one more little thing. I thought this was some good news. So I wanted to share this real quick right here. Idaho is the first area of the United States to remove the COVID vaccines from their clinics as unsafe for humans. As expected, nothing reported in the media about this. But this is an article right here. Can you guys see it?
Make it bigger.
It's right here. You can't see it?
No, it's very, very far.
I'm going to have to share this one. Okay, let me go back and share the other one, because once I clicked on it, it went to another page. So share screen right here. Yeah, no, it's this one. No, there it is. Okay. Now can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Southwest Idaho Health District Board pulls COVID vaccines from its clinics. This is great. This is a step in the right direction, because they're starting to see doctors that are finally starting to say, yeah, something's not right with all this. We need to look into it. Remember, my channel got taken down for 3 weeks because I showed that interview that Tucker Carlson did with the Surgeon General of Florida.
Yep.
And he was talking about how the vaccine goes through the cell membrane barrier or whatever and can alter DNA. Mm-hmm. So when I was showing that, it wasn't even me. I was just showing the interview that he was doing with the Surgeon General of Florida. And they said they took me down for medical misinformation. And he's the Surgeon General of Florida.
It's too crazy.
It is. It's nuts. But I'm going to share this link for anyone who wants to read this about this this awesome article about Idaho, what Idaho's doing. So I'm going to share that real quick in the chat. Anyone who wants to see it, and it'll be there later because the chat comes back, doesn't it, when you watch it again?
Right.
Okay, so hopefully it'll have everything in there. But I just want to say thank you, Ruben, for hanging out with me tonight. And Orange Hat didn't come. I guess he couldn't get that person, whoever it was that was supposed to come and take care of his nephew or something. No. So, oh well, you know.
It happens.
Hey, Divisive, thank you for stopping in. We're just about done now. So, but we've gone through all the articles and stuff. But is there anything you want to talk about before we go about your channel? Going on?
Oh, well, I do videos every day on my weight loss quest on my main channel here on YouTube. I also do Rumble, X, Instagram, so Substack, and a lot of things are going to be changing. And I saw we were talking about the reporting and just I could be a columnist somewhere, do something like that. My stuff out on Substack, so I'm doing that. So a lot of good things are coming. So thank you very much. Yeah, so follow me everywhere down here. All these accounts right here.
Well, tomorrow I'll be playing the other game, the one that Bruce is writing, and I'm a lower character. I think I'm a level 4 on that one. So we'll be playing that tomorrow, I think. And then Sunday we're going to watch the movie, The Emerald Forest. I've never seen it, with Powers Booth. We're going to watch it in his Discord, and then after that, we'll go live and on X and Rumble and YouTube, and we're going to review it. So hopefully it's good because I haven't seen it, so I'll have to wait and see. And then next week, hopefully, I'll be here for Thursday night for Team Shit Show, and it won't be a Halloween special. It'll be just regular. And then we'll have the Friday night shit show again. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed up in the chat. I really appreciate it. And I hope that we had something you hadn't heard yet. And we left you with something informative. And I did share a bunch of stuff in the chat. So hopefully you can go back and go through that if you want something. Or send me a DM on my Discord or on X, and I'll try to make sure I get you the links, because I send everything that I bring up on the show, I put in our DM chat for the Friday Night Shit Show, so I can go back and find it in there once you tell me which one it is you're looking for. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us, everybody on X, everybody on Rumble, and anyone that was watching it at YouTube. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And please watch the outro. This is my last chance to get to play it for you guys before Election Day, and I just love this. I've been playing it for a few months now. I just love this video. It's my favorite video, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So here we go. Here it comes.
Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever? Never got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
A new world order. These allegations are false. Weapons of mass destruction. The USA Patriot Act. The blueprint for large corporations.
We once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
Donald Trump confirmed that he is considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
He will never be President of the United States.
Donald Trump
will never be elected President of the United States.
People are watching these results come in.
We are going to make this decision now. Donald Trump will be the 45th President of the United States.
Does it ever seem to you that President Trump has done more than any president in modern history?
And in the 10 years I've been involved in politics, I've never seen an administration hit the ground running like this.
I could spend the rest of the hour laying out the accomplishments under the Trump presidency, despite everything thrown at him.
The market just had its 12th straight record close.
Taking action to save as many kids as they can.
We were energy independent under the Trump administration.
More Americans reported being employed than ever.
Helping those who have served our country in the military to get access to mental health care.
The
Great American Outdoors Act is the largest single piece of legislation to support our national parks and public lands.
Created more than 7 million good-paying jobs.
Websites can be held liable in court for having sex trafficking content.
The Abraham Accords, which for any other president would have been multiple peace prizes.
America did not enter into a foreign war.
The unemployment rate in the U.S. fell to 3.5%.
The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders.
Increased funding for historically Black colleges and universities.
Allows terminally ill patients easier access to experimental drugs.
Kept the inflation rate low.
Honored with the Bipartisan Justice Award.
Had a massive MS-13 gang problem. 3.9% is the unemployment rate.
Requiring airports to provide lactation rooms for breastfeeding mothers.
Middle class family income increased nearly $6,000.
A dramatic escalation in his crackdown on illegal immigration.
An advocate for educational choice.
Tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
An act preventing animal cruelty and torture.
Taking out Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, Soleimani, the Iranian general.
Save Our Seas Act commitment to environmental issues.
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Community development in low-income urban and rural communities.
Help us to remember the importance of fighting off tyranny.
Pulling out of UNESCO, the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate Accords, reassessing NATO and the United Nations.
Stood up for Christianity and the Constitution more than any president in American modern history.
We are stopping the attacks on Judeo-Christian values. Do you miss me yet?